Hi and welcome to the relaunched Better You vlog slash podcast by Inclusfit, and I'm Sam. And today I have one of my clients and our VA for Inclusfit on to talk about her journey into getting into fitness and working with me and the results that she's had. And I'm going to welcome Vicky. So, hi, Vicky.
Hi Sam, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. How are you today?
Yeah, not bad. Really good.
So obviously, I know all about the whole history of you, like throughout your life and everything.
Yeah,
But
you 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 know the story of Vicky.
can you just tell everyone that's watching this? Obviously, you got cerebral palsy, like I have.
Yeah,
How and why did you get into working out and going to the gym and everything?
yeah, right. And I was born with cerebral palsy like you. That affects me walking and my physical being in general. So over the years, as you know, you get tighter and tighter. But then
Yeah,
when I hit 17, 18, my spine started to curve. I saw my consultant and they said, yeah, I can operate, but it'll be a horrific operation. And it's 50-50 if you're going to walk again or
yeah,
even keep doing the amount of walking that you've got. Or, in worst case scenario, you won't survive the operation. He said, personally, I don't want to do the operation. I said, well, I don't want you to do the operation. I'm not having it done.
yeah,
So, me and my parents thought there's got to be a different way. Because thinking about why my spine curves, it was because the muscles on the one side are stronger on the other side. So I had to strengthen muscles. So I thought no better way than going to the gym. So I went to the gym. So I had one session with a personal trainer just to show me around what the
yeah.
equipment was. So me and my mum muddled our way through, and I got some good results. I felt stronger, more movement. My movement in the spine was getting better. Then over time, I got bored doing the same thing over and over. So I got one of the PT who was there to help me. He helped me, not too bad. But then he left. Got another one.
I said do.
Got another one. He was doing different stuff with me. And we were okay. But then he left. Then the gym closed. I left. Went to went to another gym. Carried on there, just doing my normal stuff. Then Steve got a personal trainer himself, my husband.
Yeah,
Then that personal trainer did a little bit with me, but because I wasn't doing it as quick as he wanted and getting the results that he expected from me, he wasn't happy and he dropped me.
how how did that make you feel? So when you're working with a trainer that was getting like unhappy, annoyed with you because of your condition technically, how did that make you feel?
I just thought, fine, you can be annoyed with me, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's not very good.
Yeah,
Because you should be looking at me and thinking I can use her. I can use her as my billable client, and I can bring it on.
yeah,
I can do more and more with her. The progress might be slow, but as you know with me, it's good.
yeah. It's very good.
So then he left, and then I found another one who was doing me at home, But the same thing happened after 6 months. Uh, I think mainly she couldn't think of anything else to do. And
And
rather than go on.
and also sometimes when you do the PT training, you're there doing say 12 or 16 weeks with a client, and technically when they hit their goals, but you've technically finished
Yeah,
working with them, and I think that is the problem with undisability qualified PTs. They don't see it as a lifelong client. They only see it as a 12 week, 16 week, twenty
yeah,
four week thing,
yeah.
and I think that's the problem basically.
With me, you you've got me forever.
Yeah.
Rightly or wrongly, good or bad, you've got me forever.
A
But
PT, like a PT like me, actually, we have PT. That's what I want. I want to work with you long term. I don't want
because
a 3 month or 4 month client. I want someone I can work with long term to see that complete progress.
yeah,
It's gonna take longer because of our CP.
yeah,
It is gonna take longer for that progress to show up.
yeah. So then when she left me, I thought I need to do something now. I did. I knew I couldn't go to the gym anymore because of the wonderful C word happened.
Yeah. No, you had this virus. So so
So
obviously she was your life PT before
yeah,
me. So and obviously you had some time off in the first lockdown and everything.
yeah,
Obviously because well the world went into chaos and we were
okay,
all trapped at home. And but how did you find out about me? And and what were you nervous beforehand? Because obviously we live like 150 miles apart from each other.
yeah,
I know when we had like discussions to start with, I was a little bit nervous about working with you because I've not worked with someone with your severity of CP before.
yeah.
So I was like, oh God, how's this going to work online? So how did you find out about me, and did you have the same sort of nerves that I had at the start?
Well, when my last PT before you left, I'm not one to just sit down and do nothing because I
I know
know
you're not.
that will make me worse. So I thought, right, who can advise me? I was a member of the CP group on Facebook. I thought, if anyone's gonna know, they'll know. Because you never know, there might be other people it's happened to. So I put a message on, and someone said, your name. Next thing I know, I emailed you, and now I'm stuck with you. What can I say?
But
To,
obviously I know we had the few emails and everything. We had a
yeah.
consultation as well. But were you nervous about like working like this, like on a
No,
team basically?
not really, because as you know, I'm open to anything. I'll give anything a go. If it doesn't work, what have you got to lose? You've given it
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I think the way COVID taught us a lot,
It did.
a lot of new ways of doing things. You haven't got to go to the gym. You don't need fancy equipment. You can make use of normal household items.
Which I did.
Yeah, you don't need the big dumbbells, the big weights. You can use a bottle of water, a tin of beans,
Exactly.
anything.
And then obviously during lockdown, that's when I took my business online. That's how
Yeah,
I learnt. And actually, you were my first online PT client, so it's all new to me as well.
mhm,
So I did like one. I did a local girl before me online when we went to the second lockdown, but I've already started working with you at that point.
yeah,
So obviously, and that is a face to face one going in online to start with because we weren't allowed to do anything face to face. So I know I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how to work, how to like how it's going to work with you, how it's going to teach you,
Yeah.
how it's going to get the technique across you. And it's really helped me as well working with you. And like, and also like as you know with me, it's technique from me and your technique. My technique and your technique could be completely different. Which is how I see each affect us both. And I know that is the one thing I was nervous about was for me was how I get that across to you because you're completely different to me. But we managed to work through all that, and we
Yeah.
you know
I think a lot of it is you learn from me and I learn from you.
yeah,
And
exactly.
if you're only with somebody for 16 weeks, you don't get that rapport.
No,
You need that rapport, and that's got to be long term. Because
it's really
otherwise, I can't do exercises quick. They've got
no,
to be slow. And slow and steady wins the race.
exactly, and and there's a lot of people that think they can do like I guess like a bicep curl. They do it really quick, up and down, and that's not going to work the
I,
muscle.
I,
That's not going
what
to
do
get
you, what do
any.
you, what do you always say to me? Slow it down.
I do. Like I said, to a lot of my clients, slow it down because obviously for that muscle to work and for the neuro pathway to and the neuroplasticity to stay there, you need to do it slowly so that it actually sticks and you're gonna build a lot of strength in that muscle
Yeah.
as you're doing so. And I think and obviously we use quite a variety of equipment. So we've got
We do.
dumbbells, we have bands, we have pillows, cushions. We've even got a dog toy that we use,
Oh, you can say that.
which your dog does, which Puddin doesn't like when we use
She's not impressed. She's not
it.
impressed.
But it just goes to show that like you say, you've got like water bottles that you can use. You've got tins. You've got like even washing up bottles. Like the washing liquid. You've got handles. You can use handles. You can use those. You don't need any expensive fancy equipment. So and I think my very first program with you. We virtually were using cushions and dog
Yeah.
toys
Yeah.
and just to get you started and to get
Yeah.
you I stripped it. I know I stripped it right back to basics. I ignored all the
Right.
other people who stood with you and I started at the bottom and we have worked our way up. So obviously my next question is what results have you had since you started working with me?
Now, not to give you a big head, but it's been amazing. I know I'm working with you alongside my osteopaths,
Yeah.
but you and her, you complement each other, and it
And that's
really
because
works.
and I had to say we do work. I do work with her, so we and the other Sam, the two Sams
Yeah,
connect, so that
yeah,
we're not doing
um,
nothing we shouldn't be doing. So we are complementing
yeah,
each other
yeah.
on that journey, so
But
to speak.
my walking improved, everything improving. My stamina, everything. I've got
And
really,
carry on,
um,
carry on.
I've got, I'm doing more now than what I could do before.
I know for me, I remember the very first thing you said to me, and you couldn't do it, and then you suddenly said, "I can finally lift a glass up and drink out of it," and that to me was it's so for anyone else it is so small, and they don't
Yeah,
understand what a big deal that is. But
yeah,
for you, because you've never ever like lifted a glass up, you never actually drank out of it. For you to go out into a bar, have a cocktail, and not have a use a straw and lean to have it, you actually picked it up and drank from it. That is a massive, massive achievement,
yeah,
which no one will understand until they can't do that themselves.
no. And that's why the other PTs didn't understand. I don't want to run a marathon. I just want to do the basic, easy stuff.
You want
and
to improve
really
your
quality of life.
you want to make sure that your life is easier. You're getting more independent.
Yeah,
You're trying to prevent the challenge of aging. You're trying to
yeah,
prevent CP gets no CP is non-progressive, but with the aging process, it does get worse,
yeah,
and it does progress. So you're trying to counteract all of those things. And obviously, as females, when we hit our 40s, we will obviously our hormones change, which affects
yeah,
our CP as well, and that can make the aging process can make us suffer more because of our hormones and everything. So we have to take more care of ourselves by doing it ourselves. Because obviously there's no medical care out there for us. Yeah, that's another subject.
that's
You know
it. That's another conversation we can have in a few months.
that is so obviously that there's no medical care, and a lot of people CP want things like the magic pill. They want an instant fix. They want surgery, which isn't always the case. Yet they should be trying everything they can before you have surgery. So like
Yeah, because going back to what I said earlier, the consultant said to me, I can operate, but it's too risky. I then went to exercise, and you've seen my curve in my spine now.
yeah,
It's not
oh
right
yeah.
now.
So,
I'm
so,
shaking.
so just for the viewers, obviously I'm not putting a picture up. Vicky was leaning more to one side, and now she's virtually straight. So she's got a
Yeah,
scoliosis. So your scoliosis curve is virtually not. It's still
yeah,
there a little bit, but
yeah.
it's corrected
Well,
itself
my
basically.
scoliosis was a figure S.
Yeah,
If you imagine the spine as the shape of an S, that was my back. But now it's only a curve around the pelvis.
and it's only a slight curve as well. So we've virtually corrected your
And,
spine in
and
a way.
this is what annoys me when people hit the button. I need surgery. I need surgery. No, you don't. Try other alternatives first. Surgery should always be
The
your
last
last
option.
option.
It is, and I
A,
remember.
it's painful.
Go on. It is, and
It's painful. It's traumatic on your body, and ultimately, you have to do rehab exercises anyway. So why not do exercise anyway to try
and
and
now
solve?
yeah, and nowadays they want you to do prehab, so they want you to do
Hmm.
exercises before you have an operation anyway, to so that your body's ready for that operation. So if you need to do prehab before an operation, then you really need to do exercising before you get to that stage anyway. I know like when I broke my bike, I broke my CP foot back when I was 27, and literally when I broke my left foot back in 2019, I went to see a foot specialist about my CP foot, and the first thing he actually said to me was, "He's so honest, I would touch you with a basketball because you wouldn't walk again." And that is what he said. He said, "For
That's what you
you
said
and
about
your
that.
job, you're better off doing exercise and just maintaining what you've got because I don't want to mess with you because I'll make you worse."
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes there is only a surgical procedure
Yeah,
work. But more often than not, the only answer is hard work
yeah.
on your part.
And I know you broke. I know you broke your hip. We haven't mentioned this yet, but
That's the best thing ever. The best thing ever, breaking your hip.
I know I guess it's your fault you broke your hip. It's probably your husband's fault you broke your
Yeah,
hip.
it's a bit of both, isn't it?
Yeah. So
No,
like,
I highly recommend breaking your hip.
but obviously that for you having that fixed, you got a screw in your hip. Having that operated on was the only choice, and obviously that's been the best thing for you. You know, again, that goes to show that there is cases to have operations, but it's not. But it's got to be the first and only resort to have it done. And I
Yeah,
know,
Because then, when I was in the hospital, the surgeon did not want to operate. Their solution to mending my hip was setting the leg and leaving me in bed for 3 months for the leg to heal. Now, that would have made me worse. The
Yeah,
muscle,
it would have done.
the muscle generation, the, the muscle degeneration
You would have they would have actified, not hypertrophied.
would have been horrendous.
Yeah.
So I said to him, no, I want screws. So they consulted with another consultant, and she said yes, screws are the answer. And they screwed me back together. I'm loads better.
And then the fact is that you built up your whole body muscular strength.
Yeah,
Even when I started with your strength is increased tenfold, literally. And the fact is now you're walking more, and I know I'm giving you some more walking challenges as the weather changes and everything. And you have got a customized walker, which is a posterior walker, so you've got it in front of you. It's at a height which is higher up, so you're leaning on it, and obviously that's been created just for you.
yeah. The orthopedic hospital in Oswestry, they were amazing. I got referred there after breaking my hip. They made me a walking frame to suit me and the way I walk. And they've given me the support that I needed, along with you and the osteopath. And the results are just,
And what have they said about you working with the two sounds?
amazing. They reckon that what you've done is amazing. Because they say I'm not normal.
No, you're not.
Okay. We all know I'm not normal. Everyone says that. But they can't understand why I can do what I can. Because logic,
I can't understand it either, because what I think you can do and what you can do are different.
yeah, it's just sheer determination.
Yeah.
And I've learned my own way of doing stuff.
Yeah.
And yet my way is not the normal way.
But it
But
works.
it works for me.
Exactly.
And
Except me, sometimes for me, the way that I should do something, I can't do it. But if I do it my way, I
yeah,
can do it. And
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
adapting so that we find our own ways to
yeah.
actually be able to do something.
Because they put an adaptation on the walking frame for me last year.
Yeah.
And I went, it's not working. And he tried it. He went, yeah, it's working. I said, yeah, but I don't push the walker that way. I push it, and then when I'm taking a step, I kind of not pull it back, but pressure it back.
You do use it I've seen you use it in pressing, and it is a very weird way of using it.
But it gets me forward.
And it works for you.
Because it doesn't make sense how I do it.
Yeah.
And when I tell someone else the way I do it, that doesn't work. But it does.
Yeah.
And then when he gave me the walking frame the first time, about 4 years ago now, they didn't think I'd be able to use it. Because their idea was, try and stand on it first. If you can take a few steps, that's a bonus. And then when I saw him 6 months after he gave it me, I was doing about 20 steps on it. And they were completely amazed. They said, we wouldn't have thought that. We would have thought you would have come back now and said, change it to help me.
Yeah.
I said, no. It only took me a week to get used to it. And I was doing steps.
And
And then just
obviously,
went, oh,
and obviously now you're walking around the house. You can walk around the house with it. And obviously, I'm giving you a challenge to
yeah,
learn to walk outside when,
yeah,
like, when you get your new patio done. So
yeah,
obviously, we are trying to get you walking more with it, so you're not sat down as much, and that. And obviously, you found out yesterday you've been nominated as inspiration participant for the new Heart and Soul Awards. I had no
yeah.
idea who won it.
I wonder who nominated me, Samantha.
I wonder how did that feel? How did that feel?
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't tell you, so I kept it
No,
secret. So
you kept it quiet, didn't you? And I had my email come through yesterday. I was sitting with a client, and it came through, and I had to read it twice. And even they caught it, and they went, "What's wrong?" I went, "Is that really what I think it is?" Oh wow! Oh wow! And it's just amazing. It's amazing that you think I'm that good.
it's the fact is that you from a PT perspective, you are an ideal client. You are determined. You're motivated. Yeah, but the thing is, you actually do the homework as well. So obviously, when you have PT, you're not just doing it with me once like that per session. You're technically doing it. You want to do it 2 or 3 times a week. Like you will do it without me, and you actually do that. And I know when you don't do it. So, and I know when you do it because I know from your movements. If you know, because people go, I've done it, and I can tell they've not done it. But with you, I know you've done it because you get that progress, and that is the only way you're going to get progress
By doing
is by
it.
doing it 2 or 3 times a week. Because once a week, yes, for beginners it's a start, but it's not going to get the results that you need. You've got to do it without me, and you've got to obviously create a repetition and get the neuroplasticity there for the whole body to change. The
Well, yeah,
brain,
because
if the
that's what
brain
it's all
can,
about. It's
yeah,
all about reprogramming the brain.
and the brain, obviously we change the CP and the damage there, but all the neural pathways can be rewritten in the brain. The brain's a very clever organ, and it can be rewritten. So if you can't do something, we can rewrite that neural pathway so you can do it. And obviously we have done that with you, so it proves that that can be done. And
Brilliant.
I know I put that nomination in because obviously for both fitness awards, the a lot of the so they always have this sort of award where they nominate a participant, but it's normally someone that's lost a lot of weight. It's normally an able-bodied person, and there's not that many people with disability that actually get nominated and
Yeah.
actually get recognised. And I just thought it's about time to
Yeah.
change the industry because I'm obviously trying to make the industry more aware of disabled clients, the disability qualification that we
Yeah.
meant to the PTs, I meant to have to work with you guys. And I'm sort of trying one step at a time to break down the barriers of disability because obviously it's about 60% of the population that is scared to talk to a disabled person. And that's quite high when we're just normal people. We're normal people, and that is quite high.
Wow.
So
You
it's
mean
trying to break down.
you're saying that I'm normal?
Well, we are. And I know we don't always refer to ourselves as a typical disabled people, but you know, it's trying to break down the stigma that comes in society with disability.
Yeah.
And this obviously leads me on to the fact that we're both I can't talk now. We're both disabled business owners, which
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
brings many challenges because we have more. It can be harder for us to get clients. We got our disabilities. We might be seen in a completely different way because of our CP. So can you just what is it like for you? Because we're in completely different industries. So what is it like for you with your business? How did it come about? What to do?
Well, I was working for the HMRC.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear everyone groaning now. And I was with them for 20 years. and they made my office redundant because they were closing it. And that for me, it could have been the end. I could have just sat down and thought, right, I'm gonna sit at home now and watch Jeremy Kyle every day. Bring it on. But as you know, that's not me, is it, Sam?
No, that's not you, no.
I just thought I've got to do something. I didn't want to get another job. I didn't want to be employed again because I need the flexibility to do all the exercises that you give me. And I just want to be more independent. I don't want that 9 to 5 job. So then I discovered the virtual assistant industry. And it just snowballed from there. Because I was good at admin, spreadsheets, social media, anything like that. For small businesses, that was heaven. Because they hate doing it. They love doing the business, dealing with clients, but they hate doing the books. They hate doing the emails. They hate doing the reports, sending the invoices out. So that's when they
Like me.
and then that's where I come in. And they give it on to me. And I give it on. You name it, I do.
And obviously, I know you built your business up over the last 4 years, like 3 or 4 years. And 3 years, and now you are like virtually full, or full, should I say? You are full.
I keep on saying that I'm not full, but if I'm honest, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
And and obviously you work with businesses of all sizes. You work with people like me that are just one person, small business, and you've got big builders on your books. Obviously you work with different businesses in that. Have you ever found any sort of negativity because of your CP, or has it been the opposite? Have you found that because it is your own business, and by the time they found out you got your CP, you've already sold it to them? That makes sense.
It does, but throughout my life, I've never been treated any different. Mum and dad, my friends, I've been treated like an able-bodied person. Never gone to special school. Never had special treatment. If I was naughty, I was told off.
Yeah.
I went out with my friends, and we had a good time.
Yeah.
Went to uni, typical student. Don't go there. But I had fun. So I know this could sound wrong, but I never look at myself as disabled. I never portray myself as disabled. When people come to me, they come to me for what I can do for them. I
see your strong points, basically. I see what you can do over what you cannot do, which a lot of people home only cannot do bits. They don't always look at the can do bits. So me and you always look at the can do bits, not the negative.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I can't walk. I can't do some of the things that an able-bodied person can do. But on the other hand, I can do some stuff that an able-bodied can't do.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think sometimes because the way we have to adapt our lives to suit our disabilities, we can often think more efficiency than a non-disabled person because we've got more barriers in our way. We can't just do that. We can't just do that. We've got to think. We've got to get over the hurdles in our way.
We know how to adapt.
Yeah.
And that's why I've got a few clients and I can juggle them around. I can jump from one to another because I've had to change the way I run my life so many times. I've had so many setbacks, but they haven't stopped me.
That shouldn't, and a step back shouldn't stop anyone. It should actually make you want to actually go further. I know when I did my Simba training, and I told Warwick I was doing it, I couldn't teach a Simba class at 10 years on. I'm teaching a fully fit Simba class, so it's proving that you can actually
Yeah.
do. Oh, you can't do that. Actually, I can do that.
Don't tell me I can't do anything. It'll make me worse. It'll make me do it even more.
And that's like me. I'm exactly the same, you know.
And that's why me and you work well together. I help you in your business, you help me in my fitness.
So obviously Vicky helps my business by obviously she helps with a website, she helps with some part of social media. I am a little bit protective about my social media, Vicky will tell you that. I'm quite
No,
particular
you're
about
not.
what
You are obsessive.
I am, but that's a typical client, I think, because
Yeah.
it's my baby and I want it just
Yeah.
right. And literally, I want it a certain way. If I'm not happy with
Yeah.
it, you know, but what Vicky also does is the bits I hate. Like I hate the mail shop that you do. I newsletter song,
Mm-hmm.
we do like a shine up song. I hate that. So Vicky takes that away from me and she does all that for me. So I'm not stressing about setting it up. I don't have to stress about how to get the emails off. I don't have to stress about getting newsletters out because Vicky just takes that off me.
Yeah.
And that's really coming to aim because actually I don't have to worry about what I don't like to do. I can focus and concentrate on what I like to do over what I don't like to do. And that's where VA is very
Yeah.
good because, and obviously, because I'm going for the self-employed scheme, I know that I'll probably be using you a little bit more the more work I get in
Yeah.
and the more clients I get in. So obviously, you'll probably be helping me with all my pre-records and everything
Yeah.
at some point. But it just helps me out because I can do what I want to do, not what I don't want to do. It's not like, oh God, I've got to do that now. At least I can go, I can give
Yeah.
that to Vicky.
That's the same with all my clients. Oh, I've got one now. He hates doing invoicing. Chuck it to me. Chuck it to me.
I
And
don't
he's
mind
got
invoicing.
but he give it to me. Chuck it to me.
So if you had one bit of advice to give to any disabled person or anyone with a long-term health condition that is not active at the moment, what is your one bit of advice for them?
Don't keep thinking, I can't do that. I can't do that. You can do it. You might not be able to do it the same way as everybody else, but do it in your own way. And the more you do it, the better you'll do it. The more you sit down and do nothing, you will end up like a couch potato. I know that sounds awful, but the able-bodied version is what you see as a couch potato. You will be that. Your health will deteriorate, your mind will deteriorate, and you will have more disability problems and more ailments, and your life expectancy will reduce.
There's
Whereas,
actually there's been a study actually that shows that actually living a healthier life and being moving more does actually make you live longer. So I heard about that this morning on telly.
it's
So
like I know an old physio. She's made me what I am. I'm talking 1980s now. So it was brutal.
hardcore videos.
It was hardcore.
I
But,
remember them.
but, she pushed you. And that helps. That made me what I am today. Now, if little Johnny doesn't want to do his walking, he hasn't got to do his walking. What? He will regret that in 10 years' time. Because in 10 years' time, That walking will be deteriorated, and he will never walk. He will be 100% in a wheelchair. You've got to push him. It might not be nice, but you've got to push him.
And you've got to make it fun as well, because if you obviously take the fun out of it, they're not going to do it. But you need to make it fun to incorporate it into games and like sports and everything. Like I know I remember going horse riding when I was younger, and I know you did. So it's making sure that it's tailored around what they want to do.
Do you know what they used to do in there? It's quite relevant now as well, actually. Put a chocolate bar so far down the room. You walk that far, you can have your chocolate bar.
Good incentive. It's a good bribe, chocolate.
You need that incentive. And what better incentive to have than to be healthy? A proper mindset. You can go out with your friends. You can go out places. Rather than being stuck in your house, 4 walls. And what's that going to do? Wreck your mental health. Mental health is important now, I know. But only one person can help your mental health. You. You can have counselling, you can have training, you can have all this. But ultimately, it's down to you.
And obviously getting out and about into nature is really good for mental health.
The weather's getting better.
Yep.
Just get out there and do stuff.
Exactly, and we're both like that. I know, like I always in the summer going around, they say go around countless castles. I'm a castle geek. And you obviously seeing how different I am at a castle. When we met up last year before I did my back, you commented how different I was in the grounds of a castle. You didn't realise how much calmer I was until I walked into one, and you just saw me completely change.
Yeah.
And
what would you rather do that or be miserable at home, channel hopping, watching rubbish TV, get out there and even when you're doing exercises, some of your exercises I can't do the right way, but I do my own version. And my own version gets the results that they should do if you do them properly.
And that's really important to say, because I think a lot of disabled people look at the free videos like on YouTube and everything where they see these perfectly slim, non-disabled trainers, and that's not me, but and they think, oh, I can't do it like that. But that's not how it is. You move in the way your body allows you to move, and that's how I operate as a PT, and not just as a PT, but I obviously teach non-disabled people as well. I teach at leisure centre, and I have, and the reason why I'm really popular there is I'm not a sergeant major instructor. They all got their own ailments. They've all obviously got different body structures. They all do stuff in a completely different way, but that's how their body will allow them to do it. I could have 20 people in my class and they all squat a different way. And that is movement towards their body structure, their walking gaits, their weight, how big or small they are, and that is life. And no one ever is going to squat one way perfectly every single time. And as a PT and a group exercise instructor, it's important that I rather get people moving with their own technique than to get people moving with a textbook technique. Because a textbook technique is not always the right way. It's just about getting people up, moving, and making sure they feel good about themselves. Because exercise is the best drug you could have.
Yeah. And you feel better after it. You might feel tired, but then once you had a bit of a nap, you can do more. The following day, you may hurt.
And
But if you get
you obviously we spoke on video over my back. I was off 6 months last year with my back. You obviously saw me. I stayed with you before it happened, and obviously you saw me do the dip, and you obviously seen my recovery, how I've come back up. But you obviously had seen a difference in my own self, how I was quite low when I was off. Wasn't seeing many people. I was sort of like, but then once I can go out and could go out,
you go
I,
back to being nuts.
I what is that going to completely nuts? But I'm back teaching, and teaching is
Yeah,
my happy place. And and even for myself, I know how much happier I am since I've gone back teaching. Yeah, it was hard work, don't get me wrong, and it's absolutely knackering. I literally the next I start teaching, do a class, and the next day I would just be staying in bed till 10 o'clock because it would completely wipe me out. And that's why I had to really slowly come back into it. But even now, if I start a new class, I know I'm going to be knackered the next day,
yeah.
that even now I'm still getting back pain. But actually, I realise the more I move without back pain, the less pain I'm getting and the easier it is, which goes to show that our bodies are made for moving. Our bodies aren't made to be sat around all day, they are made to move.
But
You
also,
know,
I've learned good pain and bad pain.
yeah,
And
yes.
pain that you have following an exercise or following stretching, that's a good pain.
And that's more of an achy pain, not a pain. It's not a
Yeah,
sharp shooting pain, it is an ache, which is different from a shooting pain when you should stop
yeah.
straight away.
And people who say, "Oh, I've done this exercise. Oh, I'm in pain now." Well, you will be. Do it again. Do it again.
And and
And then
obviously,
the
and
more
you
you
know
do
why
it,
that is. Yeah, I've taught you that the more you do it, it goes, but you're getting that pain because obviously that muscle's being it's having a nice long sleep and it's enjoying that nice long sleep, and
yeah,
then you've gone and woken it up, and it's
and
like
it's saying
screaming at
no.
you.
What are you doing? But the
It's like a
more you do
teenager.
it,
Yeah, it's like waking up a teenager and then, oh God, what are you doing? Oh. But it's the same thing. It's screaming at you because it's just working up from that sleep. But once you've woken
yeah,
it up and you keep working it and working it, that pain will go and it'll become a lot easier for you to actually
get on.
move, move, and you get even walking will be easier because you get less pain. Less, the more you
Mine
move,
is.
yeah, and your muscles should become looser, especially if you've got spastic CP or any spastic type of
Yeah,
neuro condition. Your muscles should become looser. It'll be easier to walk, easier to stand up, easier to sit down, and it's just easier to do everything. And it's just important to get that message across to people
yeah,
that any type of movement is better than none. If
yeah.
you just do 10 steps a day, 1 minute of jabs, 1 minute of lateral raises, it's just 1 minute of
Yeah.
anything which is going to help you be better, the better version of the better
Yeah.
you, basically. The name of this podcast, the better
That's
you,
why
because
it's
it
called
is
it.
about, that's why I partly called it, because it's about making a better you, improving your health, improving your wellness. And obviously, we're filming this in March 24, and I currently do have loads of spaces for PT, but I've also got health coaching spaces as well. So obviously, Vicky has PT, and the difference between PT and health coaching is PT is just the exercise. You are just going to get a program with me, have you have 1 or 2 sessions a week with me, and that is you just have that program of exercise. There's health coaching is obviously you're going to go through your whole lifestyle change, work with you on making a healthier, look at your nutrition, see if we can work on getting that healthier for you. If you need to lose weight, work on how you lose weight, and by work doing the exercise as well. So the health coaching is more expensive, but it's a more one-on-one personalised. You'll have me virtually all the time. Like Vicky, well, she doesn't have me all the time, so that's the difference with PT. But and that, but I do have spaces for both. So if you're interested, just contact me at Inclusfit. If you are interested in a VA, not right now, but in the future, obviously contact Vicky. If Vicky's full, she will give you a name of a VA. Is that right? That will be able to
Yeah,
help.
yeah. Or
So,
I can put you on a reserve list for me,
yeah,
and I'll get you done.
yeah. But yeah, so Vicky knows there's a VA, and she is in the award winning VA, so I'll put that in at the end.
Uh,
So, and that. But I just want to thank Vicky for coming
you're
on
welcome.
today, being the first one of the relaunch. So thank you very much. And we in the next coming weeks, I have another client coming on, Katie, who has got a very interesting story to tell about her journey in the fitness industry as a client. I've also got a couple of fitpros that are coming on that are disability qualified, and they're going to talk about what they do as well. So I've got a mixture of people coming on. If you do want to come on, obviously let me know. And I'm hoping to get some of my medical healthcare professionals on the show at some point. But thank you, Vicky.
No problem.
And just quickly before, did you want to just give out your website address?
Yeah, my website is www.vicky with an I adminfairy.co.uk.
So obviously, you can contact Vicky on that
Yeah,
if you have any questions
yeah,
about virtual assistants and that. So virtual
anything.
assistant is like an admin assistant, but they're just virtual basically, so
Yeah,
they can do any admin that you want them to do. And she is good. She's cheap as well. So and that, but yes. So if you've got any virtual assistant queries, pass them on to Vicky. If you have any fitness queries, you can pass it to me. My website is obviously www.inclusfit.co.uk, or you can email me at sam@inclusfit.co.uk. And thank you, Vicky, again. And
no
I will
problem.
see you all on the next Better You podcast.
Bye.